And there are various...
And so then the groups get dividends, or how?
Exactly.
How
You will now earn dividends. And the real reason why ACL is here is because there are certain investments that are a bit riskier, that require a certain level of skill. Think about taking equity in a company like MediaMax or much smaller company. That's the kind of risk that requires some level of skill to appreciate. And therefore, we bring in, ACL brings in that skill. The people running ACL are people versed in investment in this economy. Any one of them is an investment manager upwards in a serious investment company. So we're talking about the kind of skill and the kind of corporate governance that will secure, one, the investment, two, that will do it safely and beyond the capacity of an investment group. An investment group may build a house or two or three, or may do an estate of 100 units. ACL will think about 1,000 units upwards. Scale. Scale brings in higher return. So the more you are able to do, the bigger the scale, the higher the chance for the return. Now, a group, as an individual, you can't access the scale that the group will access in terms of return. So the group accesses even a bigger scale through ACL. So there's that tiering of your ability. With 100,000 bob, you can only invest so much. With 100 million, you can only invest so much. With $1 billion, you can do much more. A guy investing $1 billion has a higher chance of a higher return than a guy investing 100,000. Much higher than a guy investing 100 down the scale. That's one benefit that we bring as KFG to the members.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And now, talking about avenues of investment, what are some of the ideal avenues to invest as a group?
In our economy, I think we have to be realistic. We are Kenya, and this is where we are. What do we have as immediate opportunities, and what do we have as opportunities in the future? The primary investment, that area that most of the groups would afford easily, is in real estate, very easily. Real estate in Kenya is prime. Given the state of affairs, the demand for housing versus the supply is quite low. So whether you are just participating in buying plots before you develop them later, whether you are participating in the actual construction of those units, whether you are participating in buying and renting, that is an area most groups can and will participate in. There is the stock exchange. The stock market provides a huge opportunity for most groups. Now, the issue here are the skill issues. But the beauty is that there are experts out there, like in the brokerages, that can still harness this money for you and invest it there. So the NSC is a hot area for most groups. In fact, a lot of the investment of most groups, the smaller ones, are really in the NSC. It's really NSC and land. Various forms of business are available, be it transport business. As you know, we are a country that has great transport opportunities if somebody did organized things. Look at the companies like Easy Coach that have brought in order. Look at the kind of business they're touching. If groups came in and did those kind of ordered structures around transport, be it transport of goods, of people, that's an area of business that is quite open to the lower level of skill. The lower level of skill. Just need a bit of experience in that. Now, the next tier, which is now a much higher risk, but for better return, like buying stake in businesses, SMEs. You can actually identify an SME and invest in them as a partner. Now, that requires you to understand the business much deeper. The risk levels require a certain level of expertise. So for expert groups, so to speak, this is an area they can participate. Apart from that, they may actually pool their money and pass it on to somebody else who participates in that. So they can actually earn money without directly being a player, but by their money playing without them. Because when you walk in as a stakeholder, then you also become a director. And then the skill might be an issue for most groups. So going into equity or private equity, as we call it, is the next stake level. The risks increase as the level of investment grow. But for me, the ordinary group, the Chama group, would invest in farming, would invest in real estate, would invest in the stock exchange, and would invest in some business. It's better if you buy a stake in a business that's mature. if you don't have much experience than going into the riskier private equity level. Yeah.
Right. Well, your last thoughts on someone out there who is thinking of getting into an investment group or are in an investment group, and just catchwords that you would want them to know and be able to benefit in terms of forming in their groups.
I'll begin by saying that any group that is formed around social strength has the inherent negative energy that, if not well taken care of, will always bring the group down.
Can become primitive.
The beauty
energies.
the beauty is that there's a mechanism for turning social energy into investment energy. Such a group outside there, or a group intending to form today, need to very quickly consider the evolution from a social structure to an investment structure. The social energy brought together, but you must move from social energy to investment energy. The motivation must be returned. So what they must do immediately is to seek to transit from a social structure to an appropriate investment entity, either a company, preferably a company, with an appropriate board of people who have the experience to drive them. Because leadership for a group is very important, especially leadership around experience in the area of investment that they would like to engage in. So that transition from a social group to an investment group, bringing on board a good leader and committees like investment committee that can effectively and efficiently execute investment will be necessary for them to transit regardless of the amount of money they have. As they grow, they would then need to expand their capacity according to where they want. But I would urge them to find KIG as soon as possible.
Where can they be found?
For the reason that we will provide them with the 3 or 4 things they need most. One, education in the areas that they need to take care of to translate from social groups to investment group. That we will offer them opportunities to network with other people who have succeeded. People like Transcentury, you don't meet them easily. But when you come to KIG, you will meet them. And they can speak to you about the things that they have done to overcome what you're going through or about to go through. You find KIG on Mercantile House, first floor, Koinange Street. That's where we are. There's a full-time administrator in the office. And there's also a full-time administrator for ACL in the same office. So both these 2 gentlemen, Kennedy and the other guy, will walk you through how to form a group and move you from a state of confusion to some order, so that you begin to invest in a manner that you can actually see your return coming in. You put money somewhere where you can see it grow.
Right.
Yes.
And then do you have a website?
Yes, we do have a website, www.kig.co.ke, and the website we just relaunched, I think, about half a month ago. We are loading in lots of other information as we go along, and you're really invited to visit it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Something before I forget, the issue or the particular sector of the diaspora,
Yes.
Are you taking that into consideration as well?
We are speaking to diaspora, but they have not quite come on board. Okay. But we are discussing with them. We don't quite have diaspora members right now who have registered, but there are these discussions with the diaspora groups, which are not as many, but they are coming up as well. Mm-hmm. Let me say that the opportunity at home itself is still very big. Not that we are overlooking the other one. It's just as big. Both of them are important to both of us. To us.
Right. Mm. Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Moy.
Good.
Okay.
Sure.
Right.
Sure again.
Okay, we've been talking to Mr. Peter Wameo, who is the Director of Kenya Association of Investment Group, talking about group investment, the potential inherent in the power of groups, the power of numbers, talking about scale. Well, thank you so much for staying with us on the morning show. I'm Joy Kiruki. Enjoy your day.